Today, I would like to read out of one of my favorite books again, The $1,000,000 Secret Hidden in Your Mind. $1,000,000 Hidden in Your Mind. So very cool. And now that everybody is putting out goals, because we're at the end of 2022, going into 2023. And so a lot of people are thinking about their goals, what they want to do in 2023. And so I would love to give you some inspiration that came from Anthony Norvell. He wrote this book a long time ago, but still very, very, very good. So, how many times in your life have you lost out on some reward because you did not think boldly enough? That's what we're going to talk about bold thinking, big dreams, big, bold goals, okay? Because if you set a goal for 2023, and if you would be in my manifestation coaching, you would know that you can reach any goal you want. So if you set a goal, you better set a big goal, because chances are that you're going to get it, which is wonderful, no? Okay, so let me read it. This is on page 188 in this little book. Okay. First of all, make your decisions boldly and stick with it. Make up your mind the work you want to follow, the money you want to make, the house you want to live in, the friends you want in your life. Then after making this decision, stick with it. Do not vacillate and change from day to day. This bold decision will shape all the events of your future life. Set your goals and stick with them. 2, avoid procrastination. We know that already, but most of us are not that good in it. For this weakens your resolve. Do not keep putting off doing the things you have chosen. Start today to take the active steps to study the course you want, to acquire more knowledge about business and finances, to prepare for the round-the-world trip, to make the social contacts you choose, to move into the house you desire, to buy the new car. You need not to worry too much about where the money will come from to pay for these things. Commit yourself to a course of action, and you will discover the means to pay for it. Pretend as if it's there already. Start with the goal in your mind, okay? Bold actions with bold relatives. Very important. If your relatives discourage you and dim your enthusiasm or kill your dreams, you must take bold actions to restrain them. Don't listen to them. Either move away from them and their influence, or immunize, why can I say that? Your mind against their negative suggestions, which is sometimes hard. So for me, when people are negative around me, I try to avoid that, because when I'm around it, I tend to take it in anyway. So it's hard for me to just be immune for it. Number 4, refuse to believe in the impossible. Good one. The person who achieves the impossible is the one who refuses to believe in the impossible. Do not accept the limitations others place on you or your talents. I remember when Bing Crosby made his first screen at Paramount. So this is an old book. We get old examples, but they're so cute. I met him on the set later, and he was worried. He said everyone told him he could never become a great singer or star because he had nodules on his vocal cords. Many people suggested he have them operated on, for it gave him peculiar husky tone. I advised him to ignore all the advisors and to continue to have faith in himself. Some people advised him to train his voice and take singing lessons. Crosby ignored all the negative suggestions, given in good faith, by the way, and proceeded to work with what he had. That screen test sold for $250,000, and Crosby went on to make a fortune that is now reputed to be in excess of $25 million. And that was at the time that this book was written, so a long time ago. I always forget when it was when it was written. Do I see it here? 1963. It's older than me. Yay! Okay, so number 5. Act boldly in the face of your seeming limitations. There may be limitations which you possess, which you may feel restrict and limit you and your ability to achieve success. You may feel your lack of education is a liability, and yet Shakespeare had no formal education. Neither did Dickens, and they did all right. You may have been born with what you consider too big of a nose or mouth, and yet Martha Ray and Joe Brown turned these into assets. And certainly Jimmy Durante has made millions with his oversized nose. I often remember Mary Dressler and MGM when I used to have lunch with her at the commissary. Everyone told her at 50 she was an has-been, and laughed when she went to Hollywood or on borrowed money to become a movie actress. She went on to make a fortune and was one of the most beloved actresses of all times. You may say, but the movie stars have it easier. They can make a fortune more readily than others. But that's just the point. They do not have it easier. They have a more difficult time in highly competitive fields. It is actually easier for one who wants to become a business success to achieve it than for one to become a star. The same qualities, the same bold concept and bold action is required to be a success in your field as it takes to succeed on the screen. At that time, movie stars were probably very interesting. Number 6, have the courage of your convictions. Like I want to say on number 5, it's like we always think that other people have it easier than we do and that they have an easier niche or they have a better product to sell. It's all not true. It's all mindset. You just have to go for it and not let anybody tell you otherwise. Okay, so number 6, have the courage of your convictions. No one else will have faith in you if you do not have faith in yourself. When you go for an interview for an important position, you carry with you a thought atmosphere of everything you have thought and really are. If you have thoughts of defeat and inferiority in your mind, they will be written in letters 3 feet high on your face and in the projection of your voice and your entire personality. I get goosebumps when I read that. This is so good. Yeah, it is like whatever you feel, it's like written all over you. I have a bad self-image, you know. Emerson said, what you are speaks so loudly that I cannot hear what you say. Oh my God, that's good. Build your mind so that it will speak of success and happiness, poise and power. Believe in yourself. Have the courage of your convictions so that others will in turn reflect confidence in you and your ability. Love it. 7, demand the best that life has to offer. Demand it. Most people are always satisfied to accept second best from life, like a suit from a hand-me-down clothing. When you ask for the leftovers of life, that's all you'll get. No one is interested in giving you more than your demand. No one is interested in giving you anything else. Be sure you're worth more first, then go on and demand from people and life the respect, support, and recognition you desire. First, become that person, then go out and then see all the proof of it. A musical comedy called Oliver startled Broadway in recent times with its audacity and boldness. The originator of the idea was a young playwright who now has 2 plays acclaimed by the critics, which are beautiful, Blitz and Oliver. The story back of Oliver is an inspiring one, for it points up our concept of bold action, following bold thinking. This young writer had a friend in London who was a singer named Georgie Brown. He told her one day he wanted to do a musical for her. She told him to get some idea and work on it. He thought of Oliver Twist by Dickens, so he began to write the lyrics for the show. He did not know how to write music, so he just hummed his tones. When he'd finished it, he took it to Georgia Brown, and she liked it. She helped him back it. They raised the rest of the money through another partner, and finally they produced a musical in London. It played there 2 years and then came to Broadway, where it was a smash hit. The star, Georgia Brown, had always dreamed that one day she would have $1 million, own a Rolls Royce, and have a mink coat. Well, today she has 2 Rolls Royces, the mink coat and her $1 million. The bold dream or concept has to be in the mind first. Then comes the bold action that brings it out into reality and makes it into a success. Number 8, fight for what you believe in. If you really believe in your dream, fight for it. Do not give up without a struggle. And if you are forced to give up on your dream, get yourself another one as soon as possible. Remember the words from the song in South Pacific. You gotta have a dream, for if you haven't got a dream, how can a dream come true? True, so true. Okay, 9, build yourself of self-importance and value. None of us is born with a feeling of self-importance. It is something we must build. A sense of value only comes to you when you build your mind. This process of culturation is what we call education. But actually, it is a lifetime process which must continue long after we have left school. Formal education only gives us the tools to use for learning how to live, but actually knowledge comes from the process of living. You build your sense of self-importance by studying constantly, even if you have acquired the specialized knowledge necessary for your profession or business. You should continue to build your brain power and develop your brain cells. Some people study algebra or higher mathematics for this purpose. Others take up Latin or Greek or some other foreign language. Not so much because these things will ever prove useful, but merely as mental exercise to develop all the facets of the mind, giving more power and acculturation to the entire personality. I love it that they speak about things that are so old-fashioned. It gives me like it gives me like a good sense. Like it really adds for me to the reading pleasure. That's why I love these older books, because they are extremely valuable. It's harder for me to read because of the older use of the language, but I still enjoy it because, you know, things that were so good 100 years ago, they are still so actual. It's so on point. Okay, 10, last point. Convert your wasted hours into gold. Bold actions are no good if you waste the precious stuff of life, time. Think of how many wasted hours there are in an average person's life. If they could convert this wasted time into knowledge, they could become successful in half the time. Make it a point to eliminate as much of this wasted of the gold of life as possible, the gold of lifetime. It's so cool. Each day, set aside an hour or more for reading self-improvement or other worthwhile books. Too much time is wasted in looking at movies and TV programs that contribute absolutely nothing to the sum total of mental power or knowledge. Can you imagine? They were already talking about watching too much TV. Thank God Anthony Norvell is not dealing with this time, because people are on TV and social media and watching stuff all the time. A lot of things have changed. So if you want to watch movies, or if you want to watch something on your device, there's so much self-improvement, so you don't even have to read it anymore. You can listen, you can watch. It's so cool. Some of this type of entertainment is all right, exactly, the good stuff. But be careful how you spend your hours. They are more precious than gold. So those were the 10 things that you have to keep in mind if you set your bold goals. So I wish for every one of you that you set a really bold goals for 2023 and that you are all going to reach whatever you want to reach because you're worth it. And what else is there in life than to just go for your dreams? Dream again, go get them. Okay, bye everyone.